You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. Tonight, hundreds of people are without power in Northwest DC. Crews have been working in these below freezing temperatures to get the heat back on for families in this area.
Oh, yeah, you can see here, this is a live look at Pepco's outage map right now. You can see about 30 different outages affecting about 967 people right now. DC News Now's Max Marcilla joining us live tonight in Northwest DC.
And Max, crews have been working in that area. Any update, though, on when the power might be back on?
Well, unfortunately, Chris and Susan, no updates as to when this could happen. Right now, we're just seeing the impacts. I mean, over my left shoulder, you can see this intersection behind us. There's no traffic lights, so everyone's just stopping before they go. And then over my right shoulder, you can see an apartment building with no power. Look, these crews are working. It's cold out here, so you know it's hard work, but you also know that the people in this area are hopeful the power and the heat can come back soon on this cold night. From traffic lights to restaurants and hotels, this stretch of M Street Northwest is dark tonight. In fact, it's been dark all day.
I was leaving the room and I heard like, and then nothing. Everything went dark and I was like, oh my God, what is this?
What Pepco says happened was some sort of incident with its underground equipment here, and as their workers begin to repair what went wrong, we're hearing stories of people worrying about important medicine in home refrigerators and others who are changing their plans.
They're being relocated to other hotels around, I guess, DuPont Circle.
Ben is here for a conference, and many of his colleagues are looking elsewhere to find heat, Wi-Fi, and power.
I'm slated to present tomorrow, and the state of my presentation is looking a little uncertain at the moment.
When the power comes back is also uncertain. A Pepco spokesperson tells DC News Now, due to the complexity of the system and extent of damage, restoration times have been suspended. While their outage map says nearly 1,000 customers are without power, the company says it could be fewer because of its complex system that can reroute power following an outage. But the hope on this block is that number gets down to zero as soon as possible.
At the hotel is very cold. I mean, I get it. There's nothing that they could do. They've locked the doors already so that the wind doesn't come in and out, But it's not enough. So it's insanely cold. I really hope that they give it their best.
And giving it their best is what they are doing, but still, Chris and Susan, no updates, no restoration time. Crews are still working right now to get that power back, but again, no update on time. Reporting live in Northwest, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Oh, wow. What a mystery to not know exactly what happened and then when power can be back on.
Yeah, I have no idea at this hour. All right, let's get a check on the forecast now. Meteorologist Damon Matson in for Janessa tonight, and just brutal conditions out there. And for anybody who doesn't have heat tonight, they're affected with that power outage. I mean, it's just really tough.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
No, it's not good right now. We wish that maybe could have been, we had the warmer temperatures today, right? Over the weekend. But yeah, we still are dealing with that cold air out there, folks, and it is going to linger with us through most of the night. Check it out. We are looking at those temperatures falling back into the 20s. DC is just hanging on at 32, but we not only have these cold temperatures just on face value here, we still have some wind that we are dealing with right now that is producing a wind chill in the teens and lower 20s. So that is sort of making it feel even colder still. And we'll have to deal with these frigid temperatures through the night and yes, into the start of our Saturday. There we have those wind chills at the start of the day. We won't be looking at blustery winds like we've had the last couple of days, but still 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. That's all we need to produce wind chills in the single digits and teens. But after that sun comes up on Saturday, there is going to be some improvement, thankfully enough, as we start to jump back toward the 30s. Now, as we get into your Saturday afternoon and then Sunday as well, how much more should we expect those temperatures to rise? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, all new tonight, a federal judge clearing the way for the Trump administration to pull thousands of USAID workers off the job. The move also allows the administration to give those abroad a 30-day deadline to move back to the U.S. at the government's expense. The ruling is a blow to unions suing the administration. They say the elimination of the foreign aid agency would require congressional approval. Now, the ongoing mass layoffs really having a major impact on the DMV with so many workers who are just now struggling.
DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live with more on two people specifically in Northern Virginia. And Daniel, there are just so many concerns that they have right now, including just finding a job.
That's right, Susan and Chris. Both people I talked with say it's not going to be easy finding a new job quickly. Coincidentally, one woman worked for the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, helping print our money, and the other worked for the IRS, which helps collect it.
I've always wanted to be a federal employee.
But just 8 months into the job, Samantha Leach was part of the mass layoffs of probationary employees.
I worked on a team that analyzed products that are used in that currency to make sure that our money still gets printed.
She was a senior material program manager with the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, something that may not sound mission critical.
But if the tasks I were assigned don't get done, it will affect the production of the U.S. currency.
One less income in her household with 3 kids isn't easy, and unfortunately, a place she's been before.
My family is still recovering from the time period I was laid off before. It took 6 months to get a job.
Over at the IRS, 7,000 layoffs started Thursday.
I was honestly a bit angry, a little bit bitter. It was very disorienting as well.
Media relations specialist Jonathan Curry among them.
It sounds silly, but it really was my dream job.
He has 3 kids and a 4th on the way.
We're a single income family, so when, if I get laid off, our income drops to nothing.
Beyond himself, he worries for the IRS as a whole, saying the IRS was deeply underfunded for a long time, which got worse with COVID. He says the layoffs may not impact this tax season much, but losing customer service and revenue agents isn't good for the long term.
Tax enforcement is critical to this nation, and I think the cracks are going to show eventually, if not right away.
Now, both Curry and Leach say they had stellar reviews from their bosses despite their dismissal letters citing performance issues. Leach says she's appealing to the Merit Review Board and joined a union just last weekend that may help. Curry says he'll closely follow the cases of others who are suing. In the studio, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, Daniel, so many people hurting out there. Meanwhile, nationwide, new unemployment claims last week were about 5,000 more than the week before. And now there's concern over unemployment here in the district. There were nearly 1,700 new claims for unemployment last week. That's up slightly and is up more than 27% from the first week of February. Ahead in our next half hour, we break down what these numbers could mean and the impact further layoffs could have on the district.
The former leader of a far-right group, the Proud Boys, was arrested yet again at the Capitol today. Enrique Tarrio and another extremist group, the Oath Keepers, they were there along with their members, and they hosted a whole news conference today to announce their plans to sue over being prosecuted and sentenced for their involvement in the January 6th Capitol attacks. Capitol Police saying that when a counter-protester today put a cell phone close to Tarrio punched the protester's arm and phone. He now faces assault charges, and Tarrio had served 2 of the 22 years in prison for his role in January 6th. He was also one of the thousands of rioters that President Trump pardoned. A school bus crash in Maryland sends a person to the hospital. The bus was full of students when it collided with a car here earlier this morning in Hyattsville. The driver in the car was rushed to the hospital, and officials say that none of the roughly 30 students headed over to Northwestern High School were hurt.
And a heads up tonight, 3 Red Line stations will be closed this weekend in Montgomery County. Trains will not travel between Medical Center and Van Ness UDC. Buses will replace those trains for free. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser continuing to push back against President Trump's support of putting the district under control of the federal government. Earlier in the week, the president threatened to end home rule here in the nation's capital and have the federal government take over. In remarks today, Mayor Bowser doubled down on her stance that D.C. should govern itself.
Well, the case that we actually make is for D.C. becoming the 51st state. I know there's been a lot of talk about someplace else becoming the 51st state, but we are going to be the 51st state.
Well, Bowser made the comments during a fireside chat about D.C.'s future at the National Press Club.
Over in Virginia, the Democratic-led lawmakers have reached a budget agreement that includes more money for teachers, state workers, and families. Their proposals include a tax rebate $200 for individual filers and $400 for couples. There's also a $1,000 bonus for teachers and a 1.5% raise for state workers. That's on top of the 3% raise they're already set to get next year.
We understand that people are hurting. The cost of goods and services are high. Donald Trump came in saying that he was going to lower the price of things, and inflation continues to go up. And we're going to address that by giving money back and putting money back in people's pockets.
It's not the budget I would have written, but we did some positive things. There's tax relief for Virginians who pay taxes, over $1 billion coming back to them. That's very positive. There's some things we didn't get that we're going to continue to fight for.
If Governor Glenn Youngkin signs the amendments into law, you can expect your $200 or $400 tax rebate by the middle of October.